You are my special boy. I'll I don't even know how to give roles. I'll
Yeah, we get it, you're new.
Yeah, also I was trying to think of anything that like I could offer. Like I extend you my white privilege. I'll give you a card that allows you to hand it to the cops so they don't shoot you once. It's good for one free not being shot.
Every server that I've ever been in that I have any sort of pull with the owner, I instantly request a black roll, and like they give it to me like oddly often. Well, I mean, it's one of those things that like if a black person makes a racist joke, you can't really be like, you know, you kind of got to go with it. A lot of people, like, if they get the shot, like, if they see a black person that's cool with the racist jokes, they're like, okay, I've got, like, a million racist jokes that I've been too scared to say that I'm gonna, like, try out on you since you seem cool. Like, give me some feedback.
You could tell what's in the chamber, like, how many racist jokes they've got by how excited they get when you make one about yourself.
And, like, how excited they get when, if I'm like, oh, I don't really care. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That reminds me of the time I was on Omegle. And I was talking to this guy, and he was the most oblivious white person ever. I told you about him. You know who I'm talking about. And we start talking about like racism and race and stuff.
I'm remembering where this goes.
And he was like super excited to talk about it, and he had all of these questions, and they were all super not politically correct, and he was on like the wrong side of history with every single opinion that he held.
And then didn't he at some point near the end get real comfortable?
Yeah, he got really comfortable near the end, and he just slipped in the N-word, but he used it as in saying, oh, I would never say blank around you. And I was just like, oh, I like winced, and I was like, bro, don't do that. And he was like, no, you don't understand. It's in context. And I'm like, no, does not count. Doesn't change anything, bro.
I guess here's what you don't understand, sir. It's like saying I would never point a gun at you, or like I point a gun at you and say I would never do this.
Yeah, I'd never pull a trigger. It's fine. I'm not racist.
Trigger.
He hard ER. It was hard ER. It wasn't even the end. It was hard ER. Like, don't get it twisted.
We keep it casual here with our racist jokes about like, you know, touching hair and stuff.
Yeah. No, we don't go farther than the ooh, can I touch your hair?
Since we've never recorded about that, you want to bring back one of those times?
I've got hair like for days, and it's out there, and it's really big. There's a lot of it, and like especially, and it's usually older white women. Old white women in their 40s. See, old white women in their 40s will just come up to me and like will start touching my hair, and then we'll be like, oh my god, I love your hair. Can I get my hair like yours? What do I tell my barber to get my hair like yours? Old white women, they just always just come up, touch first, and then we'll be like, oh, this is okay, right?
I don't know why you're suggesting that like the Karen archetype is incredibly entitled.
Yeah, I know, right?
You can just touch this, right? You're lucky we're not in an elevator, or we'd have to burn down a whole town. I was curious about the actual experience of being bi.
Experience of being bi?
Because you're bi, but like non-practicing? Like you're into it, you're looking, but you have no interest.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you're non-practicing.
I'm non-practicing. I'm a non-practicing bisexual. Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of like I would imagine what being white passing feels like.
Interesting.
Like, because like I know that like I'm bi and I have like attraction to dudes, but like I also like have attraction to women, and like I want to kiss girls and stuff, and like I talk to girls and stuff. I still get no bitches, but like I talk to girls and stuff. I can sort of like, it's like code switching kind of, but like always.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's fun that you've like doubled down on the disappointment of not getting any bitches or dick.
I know. I'm playing for both teams and I still score 0 goals.
Because I have other like people who can get away with it easier, like, you know, pretty white women that are bi, but like they're also, I guess, non-practicing. I was trying to think of something else, but like they just
non-practicing. That's a good bit. I like it. Non-practicing.
Yeah, they're non-practicing bi. I was trying to think. See, I don't know if I can. Yeah, okay, that's what I was trying to do. I was putting myself in your shoes, and I was trying to do like a one-to-one. I was projecting my personality into the situation, and just thinking like, if I found out that I was horny for dudes, like if I found out later in life, I don't think I would want to just not do anything. I'd want to like go check it out. And also it seems hard and easy. Like, because you can go directly to, you know, apps that are specific to that stuff and like try it out, or like, you know, find other openly bi or gay friends. Although I've known a lot of like predominantly gay people that do not like when their bi friend wants to try with them.
It's interesting. I feel like the reason that you would feel that if you suddenly found out that you were horny for dudes, you would instantly be like, oh, let me go try, is because you feel that way because you're not. It's like, I feel that I can be like, I'm bi without ever doing anything with a dude because I'm very secure in my bisexuality and I don't feel like I need to go and test it, you know? Because like, I know that I am. I know that I am. I'm sure that I am. I know I don't have to go test it, you know?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't mean test. I meant like if I found out that I liked cake or buffalo chicken calzone, like I'm gonna go eat some.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and see, that's the thing is I never really had like the, I already was like attracted to girls and like talking to girls, and then all of a sudden guys, it sort of just happened at the same time for me. But that's not the same for a lot of people.
It seems to be the more secluded or sheltered you were growing up, or the area or religious or whatever or age that could lead people to suppress that and not figure it out until later in life. You seem to have grown up in a surprisingly healthy environment from what we've talked about, that allowed you to just be like, as a tenderfoot, like, hey, I'm bi, and they're like, oh, you're gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, I sort of knew I was bi, and that whole story happened when I was about like, I think 13 or 14. I sort of messed up the timeline, but like, yeah, I was around like. No,
it probably happened exactly around puberty. Like that's accurate to when it should happen.
Well, I mean, because I thought I was straight when I was like younger, like in elementary school, because I knew that like boys dated girls. And there was that one kid, Cameron, who liked boys, but he was just, I don't know, that was just Cameron's thing, being like gay in 3rd and 2nd grade. I was like, oh, I like girls. And I think I only like girls and guys are gross because that's like what I saw on TV.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why a lot of people will get surprised when they say, oh, all these kids, they're getting gay younger and younger and younger. What's wrong with them? And it's like, and I feel like I sort of came into my like bisexuality when I was exposed to the possibility that there could be something other than guys like girls and having anything else be abnormal, and having other things be normalized for me through like media, whatever it is that I saw that took the idea of being gay is the abnormal out of my head when I was around puberty. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I could totally do that, and like, it's not weird. I had a thought, you know those things where it's like a kid with cancer? Like, my last wish is to see everybody in the world. I want everybody to send me a video of themselves saying hello and where they're from. And then you'll see the video of the kid opening the file on the computer, and it's like a million videos of everybody in the world being like, hi, James, I'm from Saigon, hello, and then like everybody's waving and he's super happy, and then like he dies happy because like he got his wish. How many of those are there where the kid was like, I want 1 million letters, and he only gets like 7? No, like, 'cause they can't all be happy endings. There's no way.
Oh my god, what a horrible thought you've brought up of just like, again, tier list for like most disappointing Make-A-Wish solutions or like experiences. It's gotta suck to like, you got like be a Make-A-Wish kid on the list, and then like you see like that kid who ran around as Batman in San Francisco or something. You're just like, oh, that fucking slaps. I just asked for a race car bed.
Yeah, or like you wish for something bad. Like what? Bro, this is like the age-old question. I have cancer. I'm on my deathbed. I go, I want to sleep with the hot nurse. What do they say? Like, I'm going full, I'm dying. Come on, you gotta help me out here.
Yeah, it's like, well, but you know, it's consent matters, and prostitution's not legal. And he's like, Take me to the outskirts of Vegas. It's just like, oh, son, we're not gonna do that.
You could go to Disneyland. You can meet Spider-Man.
Can I fuck Spider-Man?
Can I fuck Spider-Man? I have a bunch of clips from the Playboi Carti concert, and no matter how upset I am, if I look at those, bam, instantly happy.
That's your happy place, just in the
my happy place.
Carti pit.
In the pit at Carti, yeah.
That's fun.
Like, nah, for real. Being in that pit, like, it's so crazy. It's like magic. How fucking, I don't even know the word, invigorated you feel in there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there was the opening song. It's got this really big lead up to a really, really, really loud bass drop. And I swear to God, in like the lead up to that drop, like my heart was beating so fast. I was like shaking. I was like fucking, I was like trembling. My heart was beating fast. I was like hyperventilating.
It was just one of those
like waiting for the fucking anticipation.
Perfect.
And then like when that bass dropped and it like shattered my eardrums, I could feel like my whole body vibrating. I swear to God, I could have fought God and won easily. One punch, fucking like flying knee, ends the fight in 7 seconds. That Joe Rogan article was interesting. I was really funny.
Did you? I just saw. I
read
know.
the article. It was like a 2-minute read. You should definitely read it at some point.
Is that? Wait, am I reading into what you're saying as like you kind of skimmed it and you're pretty sure you know what it says? Because that's usually...
No, I read the whole thing, but it literally was. It was like a 2-minute read if you read the whole thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, the catnip for regular people or like liberals in general is articles like that will be full of hypocrisy. Their reasoning will be set up like T-ball, daring you to swing at it because it's so easily disproven, the things that they say. Like when Joe Rogan says like, oh yeah, didn't you know these trans women are dominating in every sport? And it's just because he came to the conclusion that I could beat up any woman as a man, and they're all lying so that they can get into like women's bathrooms and women's locker rooms because that's what I would do. So they can't possibly be losing. There can't be anything else going on. There can't be like actual physical changes, hormonal measurements, and benchmarks that you have to reach before competing in any of these sports so that they make sure that it's fair play, that you're on an even playing field. I don't care about any of that. I know they must be dominating because I would. And all they can do is point out if one person ever wins a particular competition initially. There's not even any champions. Like they'll say like, oh, did you see that there's like a trans woman in the Olympics for like weightlifting? Huh, that's ridiculous. Oh yeah, how'd she do? Did she not even medal? Did she fail out like immediately?
Yeah, how'd she do?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, the one that I always hear about is there was a trans woman MMA fighter cracked like 3 people's skulls just because she was real good.
Yeah, so how'd she do?
Did she win? Did she champion?
Did she get her ass handed to her and not actually have any titles? Because that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They talk about like, you know, these trans women dominating everywhere. They don't. That's not a thing.
You know how powerful anecdotes are.
Oh, yeah. The whole facts don't care about your feelings thing is completely backwards. Everybody, the only data that they care about is, well, I know a guy, or my friend this one time, or something. That's their data. I got into
an argument yesterday with a guy. It was in a game. He said something about, oh, this weapon doesn't do this. And I was like, yes, it does. And he's like, no, you're wrong. And I was like, no, you're wrong. And then I was like, just Google it. I literally Googled it. And here it is. And he's like, nope, I have 1,000 hours in this game. And I'm friends with one of the devs. I don't need to Google it. And I'm like, I could literally come here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. He's like, nope, don't argue with stupid. You're dumb. I refuse. I'm friends with one of the devs. I know what I'm talking about. And
so wait, was he talking about the weapon in real life, or was he talking about the weapon, the way it performed in the game?
The thing it was is that we were playing Battlefield 4. And I was saying that this weapon that we were playing with, the weapons in this game have bloom, which is where if you aim your crosshair at one space and hold down the trigger, there's random bullet deviation. That's what bloom is. He was like, there's no bloom in this game. And I'm like, yes, there is. There is. I looked it up. There is bloom in the game. And he's like, no, there's not. I'm like, literally Google it. I'll show you there's bloom. I'll prove it to you. And he's like, nope, I'm friends with one of the devs. I'm obviously correct. You're just stupid. So I thought it was interesting the way you talked about, the way you described the phenomenon of how people, usually extremists, most of the time on the right, will draw themselves to a conclusion first and then loop around to why that conclusion is true.
Yeah, it's all working backwards, and there's almost always like people who don't subscribe to the same beliefs will attack from the wrong direction. They'll always think that you need to take apart the foundation, which is the reasoning that gets you to the conclusion. They assume reasoning comes first, so they always deal with the reasoning, which is so often incredibly flawed but does not affect the foundational belief, which is the conclusion. This is why you can prove their reasoning wrong to their face, and they go, all right, well, I still believe what I decided.
Yeah. Yes, literally. I see that a lot with a lot of people.
Yeah.
People will be like, well, I just don't care. I'm going to believe what I would like to believe. It's just like,
yeah.
To each their own. I mean,
and
you want to do something, who am I going to tell you that it's...
Oftentimes it seems like it's an extremely selfishly motivated thing, or just not wanting to deal with the terror of how chaotic everything is. Well,
I mean, thinking is hard, especially thinking about yourself.
Well,
I mean, having to, especially if it's a deeply rooted belief, having to come to the conclusion that this belief that I've believed very hard and have believed for very long and based a lot of my actions off of is illogical and wrong. It's just like, you could just be like, I'm just not gonna think about it.
Yeah, it usually goes hand in hand with those people that they can't be wrong. Because if they're wrong, that's unacceptable. You can't just say like, oh, I was wrong. Like that you never admit any type of failure or anything, because then it's somehow emasculating or something, which also that's a thing that Joe Rogan has done. And Bill Burr got him good on this actually one time. Like he got to the root of it because comedians are extremely insightful.
Mm-hmm.
They
sort of have to be.
Yeah.
The Joe Rogan experience.
She had the COVID. She had it. She got it over it.
Joe Rogan is such a...
I'm surprised.
He's literally a case study. There's no way bro's not a case study.
What do you mean?
He's just... The amount of just thought that can come from just watching Joe Rogan act, because he's crazy. Joe Rogan is absolutely unhinged.
There should be, entire schools of people doing dissertations on different elements of this guy, this phenomenon, this being something like...
And how, widely loved he is. So many people love Joe Rogan, and also how widely hated he is at the same time.
I think it's because he gives them permission to stop thinking. I was listening to a podcast that was going over, Rush Limbaugh's legacy and how he was one of the first people to get people to off-board their thinking and just say, I'm a genius, just listen to me. I've done the reading, I'll tell you the solutions. All you have to do is repeat what I say, and everything you hear against it is misleading on purpose. He kind of invented the fake news thing. But also, Joe is people externalize, especially in this culture, what we consume is our personality. So,
yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah, exactly. So people just listen to this and they go, oh, okay, I don't need to think anymore. This, he calls him, I'll just let you see what he does.
More comics didn't get it the way we're shaking hands.
Do you know who Bill Burr is? This is this is highballed energy with these two talking. Yeah, Bill Burr continually pushes back on him.
Really? Most people I see that go on Joe Rogan is just so sort of crazy and unhinged that they won't challenge him.
Because he's a comedian. So he's a dummy, but he's fast, and he's good at working people. Bill Burr is a better comedian.
Is Bill Burr dumb?
No, Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah, Joe Rogan's an idiot.
That's what I'm saying. Joe Rogan is good at working people. Bill Burr is better. All right, let me see if I can find it. Put a mask on.
Someone's telling you sleep more, drink water, take vitamins. There's none of that.
Yeah, and I know this one guy who brought up vitamin D on his big podcast, and then you couldn't find it anymore. Dude, you're like fucking Oprah when she attacked the meat industry. I just saw a clip. Oh, this guy on Rogan. Of course, I didn't even research who the guy was. It was just take vitamin D.
A woman.
That's how much I pay attention. And then I go to the fucking health food store. It's all gone. And there was some of this bootleg vitamin D. It was like vitamin D plus. I'm like, what is that? What is that? I know that probably is gonna make me catch it. So I just take vitamin C and I try to get 8 hours sleep. And I've been doing a pretty good job of. I'm pretty antisocial, like a lot of comics. So I haven't had a problem.
Keeping away from everybody.
My wife. I quarantine in my house. Like my wife's like, you guys gonna sit down and have. I'm alone. No one can hurt me. Over childhood.
Hey, what's buck breaking?
What? No idea. You've got me there.
It has something to do with
I'm gonna regret googling this.
Oh yeah, have fun. It's like the feminization or domination of like black men.
Oh, why is there a film about it?
That's why I'm asking, because I heard it mentioned a few times and I don't know about
I get it. No, it's probably a slavery term.
Yeah, isn't it a thing that like
I've never heard of it, but after googling it after googling it and looking for 1 second, it's definitely a slavery term. It's like taking a
No, but there's like something current going on with it. That's why it's relevant. It's not like it might be happening in Hollywood or in things.
There's a 2021 film about it, so that's probably...
I guess for Black ampersand white, we could watch that and then talk about it. Do a react.
That could be content. That could be real content.
That is content.
Buck break. I think it's sort of about, if I had to guess, yeah, like the feminization of, like, I feel like a lot of traditional black people, there's a lot of them, that are probably worried about, like, black men who, like, paint their nails or, like, have pronouns and blue hair, you know? And they're being like, oh, the society's buck breaking all of these black men and turning them into pansies.
I mean, it was a common, I guess, degrading. It was a way of like relating black people to like barely evolved beasts by saying that they were, you know, young bucks that were wild and unpredictable and
well,
whatever.
Yeah, that's like going back to slavery. They saw black people as animals, and when like they refused to work, they're like, it's like breaking a horse or breaking a buck. If you break a horse, it will work.
Yeah, that was the very common vernacular, like that you don't even pick up until later in life, which this is like trying to point out, you know, white privilege or some other invisible thing that to people who have never known to look for or like understand the common interactions that are going on. But I remember being around the different like blue collar construction crews and stuff. Somebody would be like, you mind picking that up for me there, young buck? And I wouldn't know why that was in some way like a spicy reference until much later in life. And then because that guy, I was able to spend more time around that guy and others. It wasn't like just one guy that would eventually, you know, freely use the N-word and any other offensive term they could.
You figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, oh, this is all racist. It wasn't just that one thing. It's all racist.
Yeah, but white people and racism is like, you know, Inuits having 100 words for snow. Like they have so many different ways to say black or Jew or something in the most racist way.
You just can't tell like a lot of the time. Yeah. Or I mean like the amount of just like American lore that is just racist. Like there's probably one that I could think of off the top of my head. Like,
I mean, is that
like
a problem
picnics.
on a podcast?
Like picnic is one that was like racist because people used to eat slaves, or I could say it, podcast. People used to say like, oh, gator bait. They would like talk about that, and they were like, and I was like, what's that? And then I figured out it was because white slave owners used to feed black babies to alligators for sport.
Jesus. Woof.
To catch alligators.
I didn't know that one.
Exactly. Because you don't know, and then you're like, oh.
No, I mean, I know a lot of horrible stuff.
Like, and then it's just like, oh.
I just didn't know that one. God damn. And all of the different terms that I know that I don't know if I can say. I feel like you're allowed to say, like, as a historical term, when they would quantify people as, like, octoroon.
Never heard that one.
Look it up for fun. I mean, I can tell you what it is, but... No, that sounds like I'm trying to get you to look it up because I don't know what it is. It's when you have like 1/8 black blood in you. You have to write on the sentence that you're octoroon. You can't qualify as white because like your great-great-grandma was black.
And it's just so many. There's just so many stuff, so much stuff like that.
Yeah, like I said, like Inuits have 100 words for snow and white people have 100 words for the N-word. Or Jew, globalist. I think I found that spot, by the way, of Bill pushing
or another
back on
one.
Joe Rogan. Oh, what?
I've when people say, I've heard a white woman call her kid, she said, ooh, you're acting real uppity. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
He doesn't know. She does not know, and I don't even think I told her, because she was just like, "Oh, don't stop, quit acting so uppity." And I was like, "Ooh, you can't say that. That's."
Yeah, no. There's a lot of people that don't. Hey, for anybody listening that doesn't know, you want to define it?
Uppity, a slave that was really not doing what he was supposed to do.
Yeah,
just like that's acting out of line.
Station.
Yeah, acting out of line. You're getting too uppity. Calm down.
Well, I thought that was, I mean, that's kind of like generally being out of pocket. I thought the idea of that was somebody acting above their station.
Didn't know their place.
Like
yeah.
somewhat refined, somewhat more like trying to class transcend by using tight diction or something. They would call you uppity for that because you were trying to transcend your class station.
No, I'm getting the one wrong. I'm getting that one wrong. You're actually correct. Uppity is like, yeah, so when you didn't know your place, like socioeconomically.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're right. If you're acting out of your class.
Yeah. If you start speaking too clearly while working in the field, then they're like, "Oh, don't get uppity."
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Like the amount of people, or like the peanut gallery. That's another one.
The peanut gallery's racist? I didn't know that.
It's just the worst part of the theater. And what kind of people could only afford the worst tickets?
Okay, so it's racist and classist, which is, I mean, typically it's always going to be the same thing.
Yeah, right here it says I'm reading from a list.
Fun!
It's not directly racist. It's not directly racist, but it's sort of like, or like paddy wagon. That's another one. I'm not even white. I can't even say that one. Here, you talk about the paddy wagon.
No, you got the Clover Pass.
That's a white slur. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the Shamrock Pass or whatever. Like you could say paddy wagon.
Oh, another good one. People be like, "Oh, I'm full, man. I've got the itis."
Yeah. Okay. The only time I ever heard that was Boondocks.
I've heard. Well, see, I've heard like my old black family use it. One of my older aunts or uncles said it, and it was like funny. See, that's the thing. It's funny if they say it.
Yeah. What is it? I mean, I know what its effect is, but what's its like?
Why is it racist?
Yeah. Why is it racist? But also, what's the? What is the? Holy shit! I can't figure out the word for the root of the word. Entomology?
Oh, I got you there. I know what word you're talking about. It is a word that sort of sounds like entomology. That might be it. I don't know. It is some word blank etymology.
Whatever. The breakdown of the word, the history, why the word is what it is.
So it's just sort of another just sort of stereotype of laziness associated with African Americans. Just like eat a lot, they get lazy. And the word breakdown for it is if you were to take so N-word itis. Itis, you know?
We gotta look up the rules on like, I mean, I think it's racist if you're not allowed to say it.
Yeah, reverse psychology, sure.
Yeah, take that, iTunes.
You know what? We'll look at the rules. And we'll open the next one with both of us dropping the hard R if we're allowed to say it.
No, I don't think I get to. I'm saying, stop trying to trick me into getting canceled.
Is it racist if I pressure you to do it and you don't do it?
No, what can I do to get out of this? Hey, listen to this. Listen to Bill Burr. I found that spot.
Oh yeah, Bill Burr.
Also, are not part of their family, still going in and out of the house.
You want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, Joe.
Do you though?
Let's not start this. Okay.
Let's start it.
I don't want to start this bullshit. I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up, better than the CDC. All I do is I watch the news once every 2 weeks. I'm like, mask or no mask? Still mask? All right, mask. That's all I give a fuck about. I don't care.
But even they say you shouldn't wear a mask unless you're treating a coronavirus patient. The World Health Organization.
Yeah, but they didn't say that initially. They didn't say it initially.
No, they didn't.
They did, and then it gradually, and then wait, and then everybody wore the fucking masks. This is like rollerblading. Everybody fucking rollerbladed, and then there was that one fucking homophobic joke, and then everybody acted like they never did it. And then 100 million fucking rollerblades got thrown into the.
Okay, that's. Oh yeah, we could talk about. I was gonna say, now we need somebody who's gay, so that we could talk about that. You count.
Yeah, that counts.
I'm saying you're valid. I see you. I hear you. Yeah. They would. I'm gonna come out as a rollerblader. I did it when I was younger.
Oh really?
Yeah, exactly. But
I've got some rollerblades in the garage. My dad bought me rollerblades when I was little.
Yeah, shit. Maybe I'm bi too. What's up? Everybody just called it fruit booting. I was like,
Really?
all right, well, I mean, they're fun though, but yeah, I guess I'm gay now. See you guys later. It's pretty fun. I also have a motorcycle. Is it gay?
Motorcycles are, well,
it depends on the bike.
It depends on the bike. How if there's another dude on the motorcycle, then hey, two dudes on a motorcycle.
The first time I rode a bike was with a very attractive friend, and I was on the back, and I felt a little weird, but then I was just like, I felt like, oh, maybe this is normal.
Just the vibration.
Yeah, that's what I meant by weird. No, I meant like like hugging. It was more like just the familiarity of like, oh, this is a friend, and we don't usually like, we're not like a touchy guy friend group. So it was weird, like,
oh, it was a dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, first time I rode a bike was on the back of a like FCR 1100 or something, and it was with a dude. And actually, first time I rode a bike was with my dad, and I'm lucky that I didn't die because he's an irresponsible piece of shit. But whatever. We're going off on a tangent. So yeah, I used to rollerblade. Holy shit! Let's just let him finish pushing back on Joe Rogan.
Fucking ocean. We all wore masks, and then all of a sudden, people are fucking sitting there. What? You don't have the body type for it, dude. Your fucking knuckles would scrape on the ground, even with that extra 2 inches. I just love how wearing a mask became like this fucking like soft thing that you were doing, like being courteous.
Bitches.
Being courteous. Why is this for bitches? That was so stupid.
First of all, it's
oh
not.
God, you're so tough with your fucking open nose and throat. Gee, Joe, and your 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the whole thing. He feels so insecure about wearing a mask. He's like, it's for bitches. That was his thing. And he's like he's saying that's effeminate to wear a mask. And Bill Burr directly calls him out like, oh, you're so tough with your fucking open nose and throat. Look at you. Like, yeah. What are you proving? This is stupid. It's ridiculous.
Literally, yeah.
I don't know.
It's ego. Yeah, it's ego.
It's ego, and it's like...
It's just massive amounts of ego.
How easily the ego can be wounded.
Yeah, it's just massive amounts of ego. And it's people wanting to belong to a group, which is just more ego. It's just ego central. That's all it is. Yeah. Ego central. Joe Rogan wants to be like the classic Trump Republican guy, and those guys say that wearing a mask is feminine, so he's gonna say wearing a mask is feminine. Just classic.
They just decided. Well, I mean, they all decided that, and they also have a thing about like they just can't be told what to do. Period.
Unless it's by the people on the political side that they like, and then they can be told what to do.
Yeah,
but it's not being told what to do because I want to do it anyway.
They kind of like want to do.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean,
I wanted to do that the whole time. So
Trump's been telling him to like get the vaccine. Like he's the guy with the absolute most like weight clout over these people, and said like, get the vaccine. I got it. It's not bad. You need your freedom, but also it's good.
Terrible Trump impersonation.
I know, it was bad. I can do way better. I'm good at impressions sometimes, but that was I
was about to compliment you on your Bill Burr one. That was good.
Well, Bill Burr was born and lived most of his life like an hour south of me, where you live. But you don't have the accent at all. Like that guy's
I'm not from here,
where
bro.
you live.
I'm not from here.
How long did you live in Mass?
I've lived here like maybe a decade. So, you don't even know. I've lived a lot of places.
So half your life?
Yeah.
But
I mean, not enough to develop an accent.
Yeah, that's true. Also, like,
I mean, I came here in 7th grade.
I'm not sure anybody is allowed to get on Martha's Vineyard if they sound like that. They probably check you at the boat and be like, how much money do you have? Where do you live? And then say this sentence, and it's just you park your car in the Harvard Yard, and like
we've got a few of them. A lot of the older people do have the accent.
As long as they're working, or like those are probably like actors to bring like local color to the island to keep things interesting.
Yeah.
For the people visiting, the random Saudi oil baron that is visiting one of his evil friends on the island. He's just like, my friend, I would like to see one of these people you've told me about. He's like, hey, nice to meet you. Here's a paper, here's a pizza.
Boston, right? Red Sox and the football or whatever.
What are you, some fucking guy from the middle of over there?
The middle of the East?
Yeah. How far east? I thought the East was Asians. Wait,
aren't we in the East
Asian?
Coast?
Get the fuck out of here. You don't look like it.
Oh, man.
Anyway,
I liked how far you took the I liked how far you took the Middle Eastern accent. It was the perfect amount of bad that it was like, oh, that's a terrible accent. But you could tell what it was, but it wasn't racist. If it was any better, it would be racist.
I absolutely pulled back from how I would have gone when I was much younger. I was just like, nope, you can never, if you don't push it too hard, it's not racist. You just have to stay, just put a little
salt. Don't dump the whole carton in there.
Yeah, you never go full bad guy on 24.
Literally.
Whatever the show about the sucking off the FBI or CIA or whatever agent show there is. Anyway.
My mom was watching a cop show today, and I was watching it, and it was like this cop like shot this dude in the leg and was like torturing him for information. And this happens once. It was the one with the guy with the really rough face, and he like talks like this. He talks like he's Batman. And he's from like Boston. No, he's got like the accent.
The rough face guy from, like, he's a Boston, like in the show he's a Boston cop, or he's from Boston?
Yeah, it's not Rookie, not that. It's really popular. It's not Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No, that's a comedy show. He wasn't torturing him.
It's not 911. Oh, which one is it? My mom
was it just
like
one
loves
of the Law
it.
and Orders or something?
No, it was like a cop show.
Law and Orders are cop shows. What are you talking about?
Chicago PD.
Chicago PD. I don't even know which one that is.
Chicago PD. That's the show. This guy, he's like torturing this guy, and it happens once every like 10 episodes. He goes and like tortures somebody, and I'm like, this show, like, it's these cops just committing so many crimes, like crime after crime after crime after crime, and none of them ever get in trouble. And I'm like, why hasn't this guy gone to prison like forever? Like there was an episode where this cop, one of his family members gets killed, and he goes from house to house trying to find information. The first guy, he's like, what do you know? He's like, I don't know anything, please don't hurt me. And then he like grabs his hair, he turns on his stove, and he's like, tell me what you know. And the guy's like, oh, please don't hurt me, I don't know anything. And then he presses his face into this red hot metal stove, and it burns the guy's face off. And he's like, okay, the guy's over there. And I'm like, jail. You can't do that to a suspect. And then he like caps the other two, finds the guy who killed his brother, and I forget the ending. I don't remember. But he like kills like 4 people and tortures 2 of them on the way to find the guy who killed one of his family members.
Yeah, and in reality, the guy being tortured would have just made something up and lied. If he was going to tell him, if he was going to break under torture, he would have told him before he was tortured.
Well, exactly.
And if he didn't know, he would have just made something up while being tortured, just like you will when you get waterboarded because you made that stupid bet.
I am stone cold sober. I'm sober as a priest. Literally waterboard me. People who get waterboarded in full, they're bitches.
Yeah. Okay. What was your time limit? You're gonna make it to 20
like
or
15 seconds.
15?
Like 20 comfortably.
Okay, and I'll say you won't make it past 15, and we'll figure out what we're betting on this.
Easy. That'll be a pay-per-view. Watch me get waterboarded.
Watch this adult white man who's groomed this young impressionable by a black teen into getting waterboarded for money.
Yeah.
Anyway, everything's fine. America.
It'd be fun. It'd be funny.
Sure. Look, if you're down to do it, great. I'm way past the age of like me trying to do stuff like that.
Easy. It'll be a good memory.
Well, I mean,
I can tell it's a two truths and a lie. I've been waterboarded. Like, that's a good one.
Look, I just want to make sure we got it recorded. So, okay. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So whatever. But the article, I think we cleared that up. Like all of that stuff is just, it's the simplest of motivations always. It's like, I want to feel tough and superior or whatever. I don't want to feel like weak. So I decide all of this stuff. I don't care how many people who die. I won't wear a mask because that makes me feel insecure. And that is worth your life for me to never feel in any way like feminine or insecure.
Yeah.
Or
that's one thing I always hate saying this because it makes me sound like a boomer, but I feel like with a lot of people in these days, ego and wanting to feel included in things is like an issue.
Yeah, like a primary motivator.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it makes a lot of people's lives like worse.
Yeah.
The need to like, oh, I want to be a skater, so I'm going to wear this and act like this and dress like this and do this and not do this. Or I want to be goth, so I'm going to do this, and this and do this. I want to be a fan of this type of music, so I'm going to hate this and like this and dress like this and talk like this. It's just like,
yeah. Oh, that touches on something I was trying to get to in a previous conversation where it was like, you can tell what a person's motivations are. Like they want to be something. Like say somebody's, Twitch streaming or doing like some kind of broadcasting. The difference between the people who have all the presentation but none of the substance, like they've got the expensive microphone, the nice camera, it means they have nothing to say typically. Because otherwise they would just be doing it without all of the nice stuff. Moving away from calling myself out here, you could typically find that with the people that come out of the gate with all the nice stuff with nothing to say. And then you have the people who've been producing whatever they're producing for like a year and the quality is trash, but they have so much to say. It's They have all substance, no presentation. It's about the belief systems that we were just talking about. Your belief system is all like, it's all presentation. It's all performance of like, fuck that mask, I'm masculine. There's no substance to it. And then you have the people where there's substance of like, no, these are all of the reasons. There's a motivation. There's an ideology here. There's reasons that we have to do these certain things in certain ways. Those are related, and it's like I typed it out because it's coming out so poorly. I'll find a way to tie those things together better in the future, I swear to God.
I mean, yeah, it's sort of like what we were talking about like last time. People want to be able to get together in a group and like collectively feel the same way and hate something, and collectively feel the same way and like something. They want to be able to call the one guy a poser because he used actual thread instead of dental floss to make his punk pants, you know?
Yeah.
And they want to be able to be like...
That is... Negative bonding is a thing. I didn't realize that when I was younger in school and like getting made fun of as a child, and I was like, oh, I was the way that everybody was bonding with each other. They all decided like, oh, let's all hate this kid. And that's how I helped everybody become really close friends. I'm a very
Yeah, but you also were
person.
probably pretty weird.
Shut the fuck up. I absolutely, I was weird and I deserved it. And I foolishly listened to like my mom, who didn't know what she was talking about, and was just like, oh no, people who stand out are like leaders and people will follow them. So all you have to do is stand out. She again thought,
you gotta stand out in a that's true, but you gotta stand out in the right way. Because you stand out in the person who stands out in the right way is the leader. The person who stands out in the wrong way is the pariah.
Right. But she also was doing the reasoning backwards and saying like, look how these, either famous or attractive or whatever notable people behave and dress. Like it's irregular, and it's like, or people like all copy their fashion or their style or whatever they're doing. It's like people do that because of who they are. They didn't become who they are because they dress a certain way. Like you can't do the steps backwards. You can't Lady Gaga your way there. Only she can. You can't just show up dressed weird as shit and then expect everybody to be like, wow, that's cool, I respect you.
Well, see, that's why people have made these...
they attack you.
Well, I mean, that's why people have made niche groups, because you can show up dressing weird, and the little niche group of people who also are going to dress the same way as you are going to be like, yeah, you're cool, but like, and then everybody else is, and then you guys can collectively say everybody else is the bad guy. We're all we have.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, no, I've been in a lot of different subcultures that like entirely cope by saying like, oh, the other people don't get it, those losers at their parties with their beer and their sex.
Yeah. I mean, I totally I can't be like, oh, everybody else is doing this, like it's so cringe. But it's like, I mean, I totally did that. Like especially before I like I hate to sound cringe, but like when I found God and found spirituality, I was super like an egoist, massive egoist.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I want to be a part of this group and this group, and I'm going to work really hard to do it. And then I just sort of like figured out, I was like, I don't want to let my decisions on what I like affect like my actions. I don't want to be like, I like video games, so I'm going to have to be a gamer. Or like, I like doing this, so I'm going to have to act like it. It's like,
yeah, there's something larger here that can be all connected together, and I'm having trouble doing it. But it's so often people that I end up talking to and forcing advice on that they don't ask for, that they're having a hard time, like either getting into a relationship or getting along with their friend group, and it's because they're doing the thing where they work backwards. They pick the conclusion of like, oh, I find that person attractive, or the way in which I grew up, the like job or the trappings around that particular person or community is what I've been told is like a cool achievement, or like the place that you're supposed to end up. Like, oh, I need to be around a football team or a band or a person who has, a nice car or something like that. They just have these arbitrary things set in mind. They know that they need to be in that position, in that job, with that person, whatever. And then they work back from there, and they just figure out like, oh, what's the person into? Or like, I have to go do these things. I have to buy these things and pretend to be in these things to then fit into this crowd. And that's why they're never happy. That's why the most basic advice I always give is, you already like what you like. Just go within that community, flag for the things that you're already into, and find the people already in your group that have pre-selected into your group. Go from there. You will get to the end where you're happy with your friend group and your relationship if you start by like going and looking for the people who are already into the same things as you.
yeah. I mean, I sort of, personally, I sort of took that to an extreme. I try not to have a community. Or like a person says, oh, what are you into? Oh, I'm a skater, so that's my community. If somebody's like, what are you into? It's sort of just like, I'm into what I'm into. I don't have a community.
We're talking about step one of advice that I give to people who are like absolutely lost, that just don't understand why they're unhappy, why they feel alone, if that's a problem, and why their relationships don't work or something. And it's usually because they're trying to force a square peg into a round hole because they were told that round hole is the only way to be, or that's how you know you won, if you are round hole.
Yeah, there was a video that I saw the other day that reminded me of this. It was this 16-year-old kid talking about like, well, there's this girl that I like. She's really pretty, and I think she's cool. No, he didn't say I think she's cool. She's like, I think she's really pretty, and I've been trying to talk to her, and I have this problem that she's boring. She's dry and she's boring, and it's like talking to a brick wall. And he was talking to this guy, and he's like, what advice do you have for me? And it's like, what do you mean? Do you like her? And he's like, yeah. You want to be with her? He's like, yeah. He's like, why? You think she's pretty? He's like, yeah. And it's like, why would you want to be with somebody who bores you?
I know.
And he's like, I don't know. And he like, it totally blew his mind. And I guarantee you, if that guy had drilled a little bit more, which he shouldn't have, but if he had drilled a little bit more and said, why do you want to be with her? Why do you want to be with somebody so bad? He would totally have come to the conclusion of like, well, that's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, because there's pressure from every angle to be with a person, especially that looks a certain way. Like, what's the matter? You don't watch TV? Like,
yeah, like all cool kids have pretty girlfriends. Like, what?
That's the root of like the psychosis in the incel community too. Like, it's not that they can't get into relationships. They can. They only want the absolute best. They're like, why can't I be with, the gorgeous model? It's not like, why can't I just find a connection with somebody cool? That's never what they're after. It's best. Although
this person was like, oh, inceldom is like totally not real unless you're like unless you literally like do not have genitalia. You're totally false out. There's 7 billion people, at least one of them will fuck you.
Yeah, but they're pissed off because they want the people that they've seen on Euphoria and movies and YouTube, where like, they have some sketch about high school, or the newest like Netflix show that's about a high school is just the most attractive people in the world just practicing.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, like they say, I mean, I see in society all of these people, and I occasionally see it, like I see it on TV and on like TikTok and on YouTube. All of these guys have beautiful girlfriends. Why can't I have one?
Yeah, because
and it's like,
yeah, you're also the more atomized we are, and the more kind of cubicalized as a species we become by getting stuck in our own houses and just existing through, you know, YouTube video essays and shit. That's our only way of understanding life. So people who are out of touch more and more think that that's reality. All right, so we solved the incels.
We solved
racism,
inceldom. Pog. Any incels watching, it's your fault.
Yeah, you. Yeah.
What was another thing? There was another thing that I noticed. No, I was talking to somebody about it. And I was talking to one of my friends who is a doctor typey person, and people are coming around to figuring out that coronavirus, like with the smell, when people lose their smell, that's actually a neurological effect.
Is it?
Like specifically, like the way you smell, you have receptors. One of my buddies, Jack, he taught me this. Jack's probably gonna watch this episode. Hi, Jack. Love you, Jack.
Hey, Jack.
He told me that like the way you smell is that you have these receivers in your nose called they're cells called sus tentacular cells, and coronavirus binds to them in such a way that you can't receive any smell.
All right. Yeah, I have a friend who I think still can't smell from getting it. Like,
I never lost my smell. I think that was the benefit of the vax, is that I did not lose my smell.
It's I mean, there's been such fucking horror stories about people that not only lose their smell, but then good things suddenly taste like garbage or ammonia.
Garbage. Yeah, everything smells like garbage, tastes like garbage. I always love talking to people when they say, "Oh, you're African American." I go, "What's that? I've never been to Africa." And they're like, what do I call you? I've heard that saying black is bad. I can't call them that anymore.
Like, no, you can say black, just don't say like the blacks, maybe.
Yeah, see, you know what? There's a difference, because like when you say black, that's all right. A lot of white people, they don't say black, they say black.
Say black folks.
Like, no, it's the way they say black. Even when they're not talking about black people, it'd be like black construction paper. It's like, why do you put the ack into black?
We've talked about this a bunch of times, how there is that ability, like the way that a comedian can say a sentence that a normal person can say, but when the comedian does it, there's something about their timing, their inference, their tone that makes it have a lot more humor to it. Racists can do the same thing with regular sentences. Where they just say a normal sentence and somehow like you feel offended afterwards, and you're like, what happened? They're like, oh, do you want to go get some tacos at the Mexican place?
Yeah. For real.